Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and this is a horror video on demand. You can watch it right now for like $6, $7, $10, $100. I don't know how much.
You really want to though at the end of this review.
Ooh, The Void. Now this is one of those couple of weeks in movies where there's just not that much interesting shit coming out. Fast 8's coming out, but we don't really care.
Fuck.
We're not Fast and
Doesn't matter if you went by an inch or a mile.
It's been the same. I don't like Vin Diesel. I don't like his face.
Vin Diesel.
I don't like his face.
So Diesel Vin's okay, but in certain roles, it's okay.
Yeah. But we're doing some video on demand shit this week. We're doing
He was the bomb in Groot.
Yeah. Who's bombing Phantoms, yo? What? But The Void. It's a horror movie that just came out on video on demand, and it's fucking batshit crazy. It's a non-spoiler review because we want you guys to watch it, because if you're a horror fan, you're definitely gonna want to see this movie. It is batshit McGee. It's definitely Poops McGee. It gets fucking crazy. There's this guy, they're in this remote location at this hospital, and there's a lot of Halloween 2 feels with this, because the whole thing takes place inside of a near abandoned hospital.
See, I felt like The Strangers was being pulled from this. Halloween 2, Stranger Things.
The Strangers.
I said, yeah, The Strangers, what I said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then a few other, even The Mist. I felt like elements of The Mist were in this. And even even Thing. The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Definitely when the creature comes out of the butthole. But it was what the fuck just happened moments. Like, it starts off in one way, and then it finishes in another way. And by the end of it, you're thinking, I need a bubble bath and a squeege of my favorite rubber ducky because I feel disgusting.
Much like a bad sexual episode I had last night.
Yes. You're young, it happens.
But yeah, this movie starts out, it's this cop who's kind of a shitty cop. He's following his dad's footsteps. It's hard to even give a plot to this because there's like 18 million things going on.
Yeah.
But basically, these people end up in this abandoned hospital. There's a cult outside trying to get in. There's monsters happening inside of the building. There's this whole devil aspect. This movie takes every horror genre and it's like...
It puts the, it's a jambalaya of what the shit.
It's gack. But yeah, I mean, that's what happened. And you know what? It's kind of low budget. It's a low budget movie, but they didn't let that stop.
No, the special effects were still off the charts good, even for a low budget movie. And the acting is pretty good, despite it being low budget. I'm not saying that it's great, because there are hit or miss moments with some of these characters. Definitely with some of the actors and actresses. They don't really perform the parts in some ways that you think that they should in certain situations or circumstances, but other ways they're like, okay, I get behind that, I get what they're doing. Like, one of them seems like he's a badass at first, and then he's like, well, gee williker, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, like it's the main guy that you're supposed to be really invested in, I felt like. And sometimes I was like, dude, you're kind of a douchebag. I don't know, that was one of my problems with this. The main guy's this cop, and again, he's following his dad's footsteps. He's not that good of a cop. His ex-wife
is like Barney Fife.
Yeah, she works at the hospital that he's stuck in with all these people. And they've lost a kid previously, and that ties into the whole story or whatever. But, like, he's supposed to be a cop, and these two strangers come in. There's this one guy who's, like, the typical asshole character. When he mentioned The Mist, he's, like, the guy that's like, fuck you people!
Yeah.
I want everybody to die! This one asshole guy comes in, and this guy's supposed to be a cop, and he just completely cedes control of this guy. It was like, I literally felt like, it was like, stop being such a bitch, dude.
Like, he looked like Rick from The Walking Dead after, like, 18 tries with heroin. Like, he like a heroin recovering addict. Because he comes off and presents himself. At first you think he's like maybe that kind of badass cop that just really doesn't showcase it, but he's not. He literally stays a pussy for most of it. And I mean, I'm sorry, he does. I mean, he does get better as the film goes on, when they start delving deeper into this what the fuck ever kind of movie. It gets better, he gets better, but it's hard to root for that guy. I mean, it's really, because he's such a like, I don't know what to say. Yeah. And then when the asshole redneck guy comes in, you just want to fucking shoot him in the face.
Yeah,
I never liked him. His motivations were still murky anyway.
There's greatness in this movie, though. There's like pure
moments of
greatness in this movie.
Yeah.
At one point in the movie, and it's not far in, it's like maybe 25 minutes in or something, you're in an abandoned hospital, you're dealing with psychopaths inside, stabbing doctors in the neck, there's these fucking...
With a scalpel!
There's a cult just standing outside, freaky as shit waiting for the people to come out. And the next thing you know, there's a giant monster. Like, and the way they shoot this monster, you think this is supposed to be low budget, but the monster looks fucking good.
I just thought he looked like a boogery snot monster.
Dude, it was just, and they shoot it in such a way like the lights are strobing, so you never get the full view of him. You just get parts of him, and it's just like it felt like a remake almost of The Blob when they're showing this monster, because he's just so disproportionate and fucked up. But at one point in this movie, it's like there's doctors getting stabbed, there's a cult outside, there's a monster over here, there's people shooting people over here, and it's batshit, and you're literally thinking this is on its way. At one point, it was like, this could be a classic fucking horror movie, man. This is intense as shit.
Exactly. The intensity is there. It ramps it up really nice, and you feel really like it's a very kinetic movie. I'll say that about it. There's a lot of things going on and moving forward, and you're like, yeah, and it just drags you along whether you want to be there or not. You're like, well, fuck! I mean, I didn't drive, so I guess I'm going where you want to go. So that's what's happening throughout the entire movie, but there are elements in it, like, I mean, it's just almost laughable because the cult members, I mean, I never got scared of them because they're just wearing like hoods.
They did freak me out.
They didn't scare me. I just thought they were a group of Klansmen that got lost. It was like, where's Maiden at? It's like, well, I guess we're going to this fucking hospital. Who's burning the cross and who's got the marshmallows? It felt like that's the topic because I didn't get scared of that. But that is where I'm going with the strangers feel. Like a group of people outside of a home or an area like a hospital that you're locked in and you can't get out, and they're out there stalking you. That part is scary, I get it, but they just, you don't really get much into what they are. It's basically centered around a cult. The whole idea is a cultish thing. But when you get deep into this bitch, when you really cut open and you see, like, I didn't order the rare meat. When you get to that part, it goes straight, like Mike said, off camera, Hellraiser territory. It gets that gross out, just disgusting, fleshy thing with the blood and the guts. I mean, these motherfuckers are cutting off their faces.
Yeah.
And you see it too, like they pull parts of their skin off and go snip, snip, snippity, snip, snip. And you're like, stop doing it.
There's literally like a Pinhead-ish character. I mean, they took it straight. Like, and I don't mind that they borrowed from it because it was cool as fuck. But at one point, it gets so crazy, you just go, okay, I'm letting go. Like, this is just, it's too fucking much. I know that there's a million plot.
That's what they say in prison.
Anna Dufresne died that day. That's what I felt like watching this movie, trying to follow along.
He's butt fucking the shit out of you. You're like,
I was getting fucked in the washroom. Like, it was just so batshit crazy. And, like, you gotta let go of a bunch of plot holes and a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, what you get is you get a fun ride for about 60% of this movie. And then there's about 20% after that 60% where you get a little, for the first time, and surprisingly bored because they go on this search through the hospital and they're like, it's like you're dealing with two different teams. Where the movie shines is when all these people, like the normals, are stuck in this room together and all this shit's going around them and they're just trying to see their way through it. That's fun and exciting and scary.
Yeah.
Now when the teams depart, it gets a little bit boring because you got one crew searching through the hospital and another crew upstairs and a chick's having a baby and a doctor's bleeding out and it's all this crazy shit.
What's happening?
And then
like you grab your head, like what the fuck is happening?
When they try to explain this shit, it's like, what the fuck?
I don't even think the director knew what he was doing.
It's like a fucking epic mealtime version of a movie. It's just a fucking smushmortion.
The director was in the board meeting before this movie. He was just throwing fucking darts at a board, be like, that one looks good, that one looks good, that one looks good. He's like, how are we gonna tie this together? I was like, I don't know. Let's just go with it, Jim. And that's what it felt like. But you know what? To their credit, they did a pretty good job getting it together at the end, or getting, not really at the end, but getting it together enough to be cohesive, to get you to the end, even though at the end of the movie you're still like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
But you had a great time. I mean, that's all I can say. You know, it's like, you know, you went on a roller coaster ride and it was so fast, you didn't know really what to expect, but there were some loops and some hills, and your wiener felt funny when you went up those hills and you went down it, and you felt good at the end of it. And you might vomit in the trash can when you get off it, but you had a great time.
Yeah, and the ending may not make a bunch of sense. A bunch of shit just happens, and you're like, oh, okay.
I felt weird. I really felt weird. Like, I really did feel like bubble bath time. Like, I mean, I like candles and like just centering myself after it, because I did not. It really does take you from a level of what you're expecting it to be, how they set it up to be. Because I thought it was going to be like just a straight cult movie with these people trying to kill him for whatever reason. But then it goes to the booger monster territory, and then it goes from the booger monster territory to the fucking Hellraiser territory, then to some like weird philosophical territory. It just goes through the motions, and you're like, like, damn, I don't know. I was like, do I need to talk to my preacher? Do I need to talk to my mother?
Do I need to talk to Jenny Craig?
Do I need to talk to somebody? Because something's happening inside.
But at the end of the day, I give the movie a strong 7.0 because it does something with horror, like especially halfway through. Like I said, when it's contained, it's scary. When all these people are in this room together and shit's happening around them, it's actually freaky. And I'm like, this is such a fun fucking horror ride. You're gonna love that stuff. If you delve deep into it, there's a lot of problems with it. But this being a low budget movie, they fucking went balls to the wall. They just put their dick on the table and said, "Here I am, Cassandra. Love me or hate me." And that's what happened. So the movie's got a lot of problems. I don't know how well it ties in. It's kind of confusing and weird towards the end. It's kind of just batshit ballsack crazy. But it's a fun fucking ride. I give it a 7, and if you're a horror fan, it's an 8. You definitely, if you're a hardcore horror fan that's just looking for something new, watch this fucking movie. Rent it on VOD. Definitely see it. Thumbs up.
I'm gonna give it a 7.0 as well. I had a good time watching it. It's definitely one of the outside normal horror movies that I've seen, and I like those. I like the director or script writers that will go outside the normal and try to tell a story that's not expected.
Love your fucking faces! If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you.
Damn. Ooh. Stay away from fucking pyramids.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie.